Toys. For children big and small, Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without them.
Does your car light up when you win?
But every year, Santa needs a little help making the presents for all you girls and boys who are on the good list.
We have the Jaguar E-Type, just under $10,000.
These are the helper elves, whose job it is to create the world's toys, ready for Santa to deliver under your Christmas tree.
Our next Michelangelo could be using the crayons right now that I made.
That is an entire pack of top trumps, all on one sheet of paper.
They're going to tell us the secrets of some of the best known and most loved Christmas presents.
Mickey Mouse. A girl or a boy had a wonderful friend for life.
Come on in, everyone.
And we're going behind the scenes of one of the world's most famous toy shops.
It's fantastic, yeah, there's so much to do and to look at.
That's looking to make it big here in the UK.
We have a rocket ship, we have a dance on piano, we have our toy soldiers there.
So join us on a special trip around the world to see how our favourite toys make it from the factory via Santa's sleigh to your home in time for Christmas Day. December is a busy time for the toy business. At the North Pole, production is in overdrive and the elves are working double shifts. But British mums and dads also have some serious shopping to do.
The Christmas shopping is nearly completed. Yeah, I've got a bit of a reputation in the family for getting things done quickly.
So I recommend this one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
Everything!
Each year, we adults spend over £5 billion at Christmas on games and toys for all you kids.
So we've got the 3 different colours there.
Okay, I like the blue.
Some toys come and go, but there are some classic Christmas presents we're always happy to see. And there's one shop with more toys than even Santa could need. This is FAO Schwarz, the self-proclaimed most famous toy shop in the world. Situated in New York's Rockefeller Plaza, it's known for its welcoming toy soldiers.
Where are you from?
I'm from California.
Ooh, you're a movie star.
With high-end gifts and life-size stuffed animals, it's famous across the world for appearing in movies like Big, featuring its huge dance on piano. It's all spread across 20,000 square feet and 3 floors, and it brings in visitors from across the world.
Came on Sunday, and we've done all sorts, but this is a highlight, isn't it?
Yeah,
this
definitely.
toy shop's a highlight.
So holiday's going quite well so far. Today's probably going to be my favourite. Like, I love all the toys that they have here. It's so cool.
But guess what? Now British shoppers won't have to travel quite so far to visit the store, as they're opening up a UK flagship inside Selfridges on London's Oxford Street, and just in time for Christmas.
We wanted to open the department before Christmas because for toys, it's just the most iconic time of the year.
Look at you mechanic.
It's all about experience. It's all about that theatrical entertainment.
You can do this.
I feel blue might be his lucky colour, you know?
Not just about selling toys, but about giving children an experience that'll last a lifetime.
Back across the pond, let's see what us Brits can expect by looking inside the New York store. Providing the experience of a lifetime every day takes its toll, so it needs a thorough checking over before it opens.
When the store opens, you literally get hundreds of kids all mom rushing into the plush section. They come over and they're like, Mom, I want a dog. Mom, I want Patrick. I want something to drink. I want a dragon. I want a teddy bear with a jacket on it.
It's only a few weeks before Santa will be heading out to make his deliveries, and the staff have been here since 6 a.m. to make sure that everything is ready for Father Christmas and everyone else. Micah Feliciano, manager of personal shopping, is doing his final checks.
The famous dance on piano, made famous from the movie Big with Tom Hanks. So boys and girls of all ages, they come in and they dance. So a lot of noise in this section. And then over here, you get a tiger in the store from Schleich. He hasn't been fed this morning.
Micah first started with the company in 2003 and has done most of the jobs in the store since then.
I started as the visual merchandiser. I became a toy soldier. I became a candy supervisor. I became a brand ambassador. I became a manager of demonstration and then events. And then I became manager of personal shopping. I'm a lifer at FAO. And an exclusive experience here at FAO Schwarz is our custom FAO Raceway, where you can actually design your own remote control car. We have mechanics here that help the children figure it out.
The store has always enjoyed a bit of razzle-dazzle, but competition from online retail now means the in-store experience is essential to staying in the toy game.
So it really is getting people away from .com and coming into the actual retail store, experiencing it firsthand.
For over 140 years, there was an FAO Schwarz in New York City.
FAO Schwarz was started by Frederick August Otto Schwarz in 1862. There actually was an FAO Schwarz, and he started this toy store in Baltimore, Maryland, and then eventually moved to New York City. And ever since that time, his name has been on the sign outside our door.
In the following years, the store became a New York staple and beloved by the stylish Manhattanites. But despite its popularity, it was never plain sailing.
Schwarz, throughout its history, has had several different owners. And it's had many stores, and it's gotten smaller and gotten bigger.
It's moved to different locations on Broadway and Fifth Avenue, been passed through the hands of different owners, and expanded to become a chain of more than 40 stores. But in 2009, the business was acquired by Toys R Us. And within 6 years, as they slid towards bankruptcy, the final FAO Schwarz store on Fifth Avenue closed.
There was a brief period for about 3 or 4 years where there was no FAO Schwarz. And I think the most amazing thing is when we came back, what a void not having FAO Schwarz was. And people let us know that. And it was part of their childhood and part of their memories, and they really wanted it back. And so the reception since we've returned has been absolutely amazing.
The new owners hired back David and Micah, and as many of the original worker elves as they could get, and settled on Rockefeller Plaza as their new home. Today, the toy store is just getting ready to open, and toy soldier Johnny is in charge.
I'm going to walk out. I'm going to salute everyone that's out there, and I'm going to introduce myself, introduce the characters in the store for the experiences, and then welcome them into the magical toy store.
We're going to start with music. Everyone ready? Yes. 2.
All right, guys. Burn this candle!
Once upon a time in the beautiful city of New York at Rockefeller Center, FAO Schwarz opened its doors. When you enter, you will encounter myself. My name is Toy Soldier Johnny, and I will help you on your journey. Come on in, everyone.
The soldiers really started to come around in the 80s when we moved to Fifth Avenue, but they have been a staple. The icon of the toy soldier has always been, associated with FAO Schwarz.
Want to take a picture? My role as a toy soldier is greeting all the people that come in, young and old alike, and creating magical memories for the little kids and adults that come into the store. Knowing where everything is in the toy shop and telling some jokes, singing some songs. It's pretty much the coolest job in New York City, I have to say.
Bye-bye.
And for Soldier Johnny, he's living his childhood Christmas dreams.
For someone growing up in New York, we used to come to the city and we'd hit 3 spots. We'd come see the tree at Rockefeller Center. We'd go to FAO Schwarz. It was on 58th and 5th at the time. And we'd go to Macy's to see Santa Claus. If I close my eyes, I'm there. So to work at FAO Schwarz as this iconic toy soldier, it fascinates me every day, and it blows me away.
But it's not just toy soldiers out on the floor. There are scientists, mechanics, skaters, magicians, and pilots, all adding to the circus-like atmosphere.
It's more important than ever in today's world to offer experience. It's so easy to go shopping online and just sitting in your home and shopping from wherever you are. So when you do come out to a retail brick and mortar store, you want it to be special.
Where you guys from?
With the New York store doing really rather well a year after reopening, why take all that risk of launching a brand new store in London?
We think London is a city very much like New York, and so we feel that we belong in London just like we do in New York City, and the initial response has been incredible.
The whole of the Selfridges toy department is now its own FAO Schwarz store that actually has more floor space than the New York store. But that's not the only thing that's bigger.
This is the iconic FAO Schwarz piano. This also happens to be the biggest FAO Schwarz piano in the world.
As well as the piano, all the familiar elements from the States are there, including, of course, the toy soldiers.
We are actually made out of magicalness, fun,
Yes.
and a lot of enthusiasm.
Yes, you got to be full of mischief.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
If you're not willing to cause a little bit of mischief, then, you know, that's one of the first things they teach you.
But now it's only a few weeks until Christmas, so the soldiers have an extra responsibility.
This is a bit of a secret, but we're best friends with Father Christmas.
We are indeed.
So obviously we love Christmas, and Christmas time is when he gets to come round, and we see him a lot more, which is very exciting.
Yes. So no, we look after the ones here in London, all the toys here.
Oh, yes, of course.
Talking to all the little kids, and the big kids too.
And if they behave really well, which so far we've not had a single misbehaved child,
Not yet.
we obviously let Father Christmas know.
Coming up, we'll see how to make 12 million crayons a day.
When I allow myself to think that there's a child in Hong Kong and he's coloring with crayons, I made them.
And as the countdown to Christmas commences, what is this year's ultimate Christmas toy?
We have the Jaguar E-Type. It is an exclusive here at FAO Schwarz, just under $10,000.
Christmas is nearly here, and Santa is filling his sack with presents for lucky children all over the world. But where does he get some of the most well-loved gifts and toys? 8 hours sleigh ride west of London, in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, USA, is an American toy institution, Crayola. The world's largest maker of children's art supplies, Crayola products have been gracing stockings around the world for over a century. Can you guess how many crayons they make here every day? 1 million? 2 million? No, they make a whopping 12 million crayons every single day. And the man in charge of providing Santa with all his crayons is Pete Bruguera.
When people ask you, where do you work, and you say you work for Crayola, a smile immediately comes to their face, so it's a good feeling.
The factory makes a staggering 3 billion crayons a year. That's enough to go round the planet 6 times. They also produce 700 million markers and tons of paints, art kits, toys and games. And some of them could be finding their way into your stockings this Christmas.
In the UK, the Christmas season is by far the largest part of the year. 65% of the year is sold during the holiday season.
It's all a bit different from when the business started in the 1880s, producing chemical colours for the paint and tyre industries. But in 1902, the owners decided to get creative.
The two founders, Edwin Binney and C. Harold Smith, decided they wanted to give back to society. So they decided to begin manufacturing education products.
And whilst looking for ideas, Edwin Binney took inspiration from the steel industry he knew well.
They took a product that they already had that was being used in the steel industry called Stay-on-All crayons, which was used to mark steel beams. He took the impurities out of it, he added colors, and he created the first box of 8-count crayons for sale to children in the United States.
The first box was priced at a very affordable 5 cents, bringing a bit of colour to every American child. And nearly 120 years later, their biggest seller remains the classic crayons. Factory worker Joe Bronowski has been helping crayons reach happy children for over a quarter of a century. And he's got the T-shirt to prove it.
Well, this shirt says that I have worked at Crayola for 25 years, and I'm trying to get my 30th year shirt before I leave.
And you don't stick around that long unless you really love your job.
What are we doing here? We're making a product for kids to use around the world. Think about it. Our next Michelangelo could be using the crayons right now that I made.
The journey to artistic greatness starts outside on the factory's private railway track. Twice a week, tankers arrive, full of paraffin wax, the crayon's raw ingredient.
Well, the railroad cars come in on a railroad track, just like you would see on any railroad track. There's a hose gets connected to our big silos out back.
Each silo holds up to 100,000 pounds of wax, and the plant empties a silo nearly every day into the factory, which is in production 365 days a year to produce the 3 billion crayons. The plain wax is sent through heated pipes to stop it solidifying. Then it's channeled to different production lines, where they add coloured pigment to dye the paraffin wax, depending on what shade they want that day.
We have a lot of different variations. Today we got to make green, tomorrow we got to make yellow-green. The next day we got to make green-yellow.
And today they're creating a vibrant shade of orange, named mac and cheese. They must be using red Leicester.
We manufacture on a regular basis 150 colors.
But no colour is safe in the top 150, as sometimes they retire a colour and bring in a new one. And for any new crayon to make the grade, it has to get past the resident queen of colour, Kelly Muth. She's a process development engineer, that's a crayon tester to you and me, at their top secret research facility. Although, the paint job kind of gives it away.
We develop all of our colors internally and work with some external suppliers to make sure it's the same color each and every time that we make it. They're all basically a secret blend formulation. No one else will have it.
And Kelly's making up a test sample of today's colour blend, mac and cheese.
It's been out since 1993. A kid actually named it mac and cheese.
Once mixed up, it's poured into the moulds and cooled. And to keep a place in the top 150 colours, a crayon has to get past a one-of-a-kind invention that only exists in this lab.
This machine is very old. It's basically at least 50 years, I'd say.
So, not that old then. The machine is carefully balanced to copy the weight of a child's hand. And the test is to see if the crayon gives an even and consistent colour coverage. Today, mac and cheese passed the test. But sometimes the pigment hits the wall.
This has probably been here for at least 20 years. Yeah, color gets everywhere and it just, becomes part of our building. Accidents do happen.
And in a factory packed with crayons, it's no wonder that everybody's got their favourite colour.
This is the color periwinkle. Look how bright and cheerful and colorful that is. It just brightens your day every day.
I have 2 Cadet Blue and Purple Mountain's Majesty.
Bad luck, boys, because today it's all about the orange. We've seen how wax arrives by the tanker load and is coloured with pigment and heated. Now this orange goo is pumped onto a rotating circular table that contains the moulds for the individual crayons. Each mould section on the table can make 110 crayons and is filled with melted wax. Then as it rotates, cold water is pumped into the metal table to turn the wax solid. The excess wax is then scraped off, allowing the solid crayons to pop up, and the leftover wax goes back into the mix. The crayons are then twice wrapped in their label to give them extra strength and fixed with a non-toxic water and cornstarch glue. Finally, a sensor checks the crayons for bubbles or chips, but even the rejects don't go to waste.
When you get all those bad crayons, they put them in this basket, they put them actually into the kettle, and they're remelting that back down off the labels.
The melty rejects are thrown back into the mix, and the labels stay in the basket to be recycled, so they don't end up in your finished crayons. Next up is the packing, and the 24 different colours for this box are put into huge rotating wheels, where they're then loaded by hand into the crayon sorting machine.
The operator here will pick up a handful, approximately 200 in their hand. Human hands can hold about 220 crayons. Isn't that great that every box of crayons that's out there in the world, a human hand has touched that and packed that itself? That's fantastic.
The finished packs are then ready for collection by Santa, who will deliver them to 80 countries around the world, ready to create some festive artwork. I might draw Father Christmas with mine.
When I allow myself to think that there's a child in Hong Kong and he's coloring with crayons, I made them. And I'm putting a smile on that kid's face. And when you allow yourself to think like that, it's amazing that the job I had.
So, that's Santa's colouring crayons sorted out. But what else might be on his sleigh this year? The range of potential gifts could befuddle even Father Christmas.
Yo-yos. That's awesome.
Luckily, the FAO Schwarz toy store in New York has personal shopping elf Micah to help.
Where are you guys visiting from?
France.
From France? Oh, bonjour, comment ça va?
Bonjour.
Ça va bien, bien. So I see you picked out the drawing boards. Anything else? Who are you shopping for this holiday season?
Two little girls who love art supplies.
So you right now have the only bear in California with an FAO Schwarz New York shirt. It's a complimentary service. So I've helped everyone between royals and presidents and my neighbors and dog walkers and everyone in between. So personal shopping's for everyone.
But it's the big name shoppers that have hit the headlines over the years. Donald Trump's long been a regular customer, and everyone from Britney Spears to Princess Diana has popped by for the personal shopping experience.
I mean, we're a toy store, so when you really think about it, everyone deserves toys, even the rich and famous. They deserve toys too.
So when they launched the UK store, they turned to Micah to knock the personal shoppers into shape.
I was involved with opening the London store. I got the great pleasure of going there 2 weeks prior and training the team, walking them through the experiences, walking them through like the FAO Schwarz culture and what we represent and how we want to be perceived to, you know, the folks of London and the tourists of London.
And one of Micah's pupils is London-based assistant Amna.
Mika mentioned how the FAO Schwarz, it's kind of creating an experience for our customers. So it's not just about advising customers on what to buy, but it's about creating fun memories. Should we put some clothes on her?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Board games as well, so it's something you can play with her and interact with her with.
And although helping customers with a regular budget is her bread and butter, Amna has some bigger ideas for those with a bigger wallet.
The cars that we have are very popular. They come with a remote control. So we've got a Lamborghini here, we've got the Mercedes, we've got a Bentley over here, a Land Rover over there as well.
Of course, back in the American store, everything has to be supersized.
We have the Jaguar E-Type. It is an exclusive here at FAO Schwarz. Just under $10,000. Goes anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour. It has a water-resistant fiberglass interior, which you see here. You have your seatbelt. Safety is very important, especially on the roads. Ages appropriate for this is for 6 and up. So perfect for the boy and girl that wants to go out. We have Mustangs, we have Porsches, anything you want.
But where else can Santa find this season's must-have toys? Coming up, we'll see the squeeze being put onto a packet of playing cards.
The pressure that's exerted is about the same as the weight of a London bus, so it's the sort of bit of machinery you do not want to get your fingers in the way of.
And we'll see a Christmas teddy come together and meet some bears that have been around the block.
This bear is from 1905. He's at the moment the oldest here.
As Santa prepares his sleigh for this year's Christmas dash, there's a classic British game that has been appearing under the tree for generations. Top Trumps. For over 40 years, we've been spending Christmas afternoon battling statistics against each other with cars, superheroes, princesses, or dinosaurs. In West London is Winning Moves, the company behind this game, providing Santa with a whopping 4 million packs a year. The boss is Tom Liddle, and he oversees his very own team of number-crunching elves.
So this is the creative column, so these guys get everything ready to print. They do all the research, all the stats, biogs, they check everything and make sure all our product is good to go.
Launched in 1978 by British company Waddingtons, Top Trumps is a game with a themed deck of cards. Each player picks up a card, and one of them chooses a category to compete on.
Intelligence 4, 8.
Oh, unlucky. The player with the highest score then wins both cards, and they repeat until one of them has the whole deck. It was massively popular in the 80s, but by the late 90s it was only selling a few thousand decks a year, until Tom decided to buy the brand and relaunch it.
These would be 70s and 80s, and these were the old cases that crack every time or shatter. In fact, in our archive, half of the boxes have got bits missing. Ooh, how about that? British soccer stars. Peter Shilton. Oh, yeah, he was the England goalkeeper when I was a kid.
Tom started with packs inspired by the classic ones from his childhood. My favourite was dinosaurs. Anatosaurus was the best.
I started with dinosaurs and sports cars and a Gumball rally deck, which was like quirky cars.
But things really took off when they started licensing existing characters.
The big breakthrough was Simpsons. So we went to Fox, who we were making a board game for, and said, how about we make Top Trumps as well? And the guy there said, yeah, go for it, great. And that pack just exploded.
They went from selling 5,000 packs to 40,000 in 1 year. And today they sell a massive 4 million. Now they license everything from sitcoms to superheroes.
We have our rolling contracts with the likes of Disney and Universal and Warner Brothers. But where the risk is in something like that is how many we make, because maybe they don't like the film and suddenly you're stuck.
But this Christmas's big movie is one we've all been excited about. The humongous Disney sequel, Frozen 2. And to come up with the scores, one lucky elf got an exclusive sneak peek months before the film opened. But shh, don't tell anyone.
Disney protects the script of that very carefully. So, yeah, someone here would sign an NDA and go and sit in a room at Disney and read the script and work out who the 30 characters are and write the stats and get the biographies done. And everyone's, very strictly managed that they can't divulge, because we are in deep trouble if somehow that leaks out.
For the thousands of packs on hundreds of subjects, each one needs a custom scoring system. And that's all done by Tom's team of super geeks.
So we've got people that are really into sport, people that are really into comic books, movies. It's their dream come true to work on a pack of Harry Potter.
And chief super geek is head of creative Sam Jarman.
Coming up with the ratings for Top Trumps, we usually just do a load of research with a little team of creatives here, and then we'll come up with a set of categories based on what we think customers will enjoy playing.
But if you've ever looked at a score and thought, killer rating of 2, you're having a laugh, then you're not the only one.
Our scores are always disputed because there's so many of them, and a lot of them are subjective. But we like that. It's part of the fun of getting people talking about each category and getting engaged with the products, so it's a good thing.
The final stage is to design the cards, and then they're ready to be printed. And to be ready for Christmas, they've got to be stocked up on their best ever selling pack. Dinosaurs, of course.
Height, 5.6 metres.
Knowledge is power. Top Trumps, survival skills for adventurous minds.
And the people who make sure we'll all know our Triceratops from our Pachyrhinosaurus are the St Austell Printing Company in Cornwall, who won the contract 3 years ago.
It's an iconic brand. My children have got Top Trumps and their friends have got Top Trumps, so it was something that we were aware of before we got involved in printing them.
The dinosaur designs are sent here from head office, either by elf mail or email, I can't remember which.
This is Gavin. He's one of our pre-press operators. He's in charge of checking that all the artwork has come in and looks correct, it's in the right format, right resolution.
Once Gavin gives the OK, the images are transferred onto printing plates. But these aren't the heavy metal plates of the olden days. They're wafer-thin sheets of aluminium.
This is a plate-making machine, and this produces the artwork onto these aluminium plates. Now, these are really, really important in the process of printing on a litho press.
These sleek 21st century plates have had the images carved on at a microscopic level and are flexible and strong enough to be used hundreds of thousands of times.
There would be 4 plates, one for each colour, producing this pack of cards.
The finished sheets are ready to get to work down on the factory floor, with the 4 plates loaded into a 25-foot-long printing monster with an epic name to match.
This is a Heidelberg XL75 lithographic printing press. It's a German printing press. Cost us about £250,000 when we bought it brand new, around 6 years ago. It's a massive beast. It's about 20 tons in total. Lithographic printing it's kind of like potato printing. So you know when you get the potato and you press it against each sheet, it's kind of like that really.
But rather than spuds, the XL75 uses a series of rollers fixed with the aluminium printing plates to get the ink onto the paper. This machine prints 15,000 sheets of top trumps in 1 hour. That's a lot of pieces of paper to separate. But luckily, Matt doesn't have to lick his fingers each time to do it.
There's a little blower there, high pressure air, that separates each individual sheet of paper.
The printing process uses just 4 colour layers that you might see on your home printer: black, yellow, magenta and cyan, or blue to you and me. These colours can then be combined to replicate all other colours. But the most important one here is green.
The paper that we use here for all of our printing is FSC paper, so that means it all comes from sustainable forests in Europe. The inks that we use are actually vegetable-based inks, so it means that they're really, really sustainable, and any ink that we don't use actually gets taken away and recycled in loads of different ways, including it could be used as hardener in concrete on building sites, or it could even be used in furnaces at power stations as an alternative to coal.
After a quick spin in the dryer, the sheets pop out the other end.
So the press is finished, and we have our packs of top trumps. That every single pack of top trumps has 33 cards, because 33 fits perfectly on this bit of paper, and it means that when it's all cut up, there's very little paper that's wasted.
For every batch, some sample sheets are quality checked by print technician Lucy.
This scanner basically takes a look at the whole image, and also in particular looks at these registration bars up here. What it does is it looks at the amount of ink coverage on each section of the print to make sure the colours are exactly as they should be. You want to make sure that the colour of the Tyrannosaurus Rex here is the colour that it's intended to be. You don't want a bright purple dinosaur appearing in the middle of a pack.
Unless his name is Barney. Anyway, the pages are left to dry for 24 hours. And then Matt takes them across the factory to the slicing, dicing and shuffling machine. For the cards to have their square edges turned into more pleasingly rounded ones takes a special bit of kit.
So in here we've got a die. So this is made out of tungsten carbide, and what happens is each pack gets die cut by this to give it the rounded edges. Now this is really, really sharp. I daren't even touch it, and the pressure that's exerted on each pack of top trumps per square inch is about the same as the weight of a London bus. So it's the sort of bit of machinery you do not want to get your fingers in the way of.
Ouch!
We've got a whole stock of these here. They cost about £2,000 each to get produced. They're really strong, and this will last for about 800,000 packs before we have to send it away and get it resharpened. Then it's ready to go again. Could probably resharpen it about 100 times before we need to get a new one.
That's 80 million packs of cards, so it should be all right for a bit longer. This machine goes from a single sheet to shrink-wrap deck of cards in less than 60 seconds and can do over 2,000 packs in an hour. That's nearly as fast as an elf in Santa's workshop. The finished cards just need one final touch before they're sent off to join the festive rush.
So there we are. That is a finished pack, goes into the box like that, and that is what you will see in your shops this Christmas.
And there's no prizes for guessing what Managing Director Tom and his son will be playing after the Queen's speech.
Goal 79.
1.
Coming up, we look at the bare necessities of Christmas presents, and the secret world of toys counts down to Christmas Day.
Are we having fun?
Christmas is nearly here. Mums and dads have been out shopping, Santa's elves are hard at work, and we're all being extra good to make sure we get a visit from Father Christmas. But whatever is on your list, surely we all need something cuddly at Christmas.
Aww.
And And at FAO Schwartz, in both London and New York, one of the most popular sections are the soft toys.
We have literally animals from around the world. I mean, from bears and pigs and wolves, polar bears, horses, penguins, tigers, oh my.
But where do all these cuddly animals come from? Well, there's a place in Germany that's been providing Santa with soft toys longer than anyone else. In the town of Giengen, there are bears always on the prowl. This is the home of Steiff. Started in 1880, it's arguably the original soft toy company and maker of some of the most famous and valuable teddy bears ever made. From cuddly bears perfect for newborns to 10-foot-high grizzlies, there's something for every stocking.
Christmas is a very important time for Steiff. It's a time when the people come together and had her memories on the past. And so older people remember her Steiff bear and want to give this love to the other relatives in the family and also looked after a Steiff bear or a Steiff animal.
And every Christmas, alongside the regular lineup, they have one very limited edition collector's bear. And this year, her name is Nicola. Made with mohair, given a festive outfit, a gold-plated button in her ear, and Swarovski crystal pads on her hands and feet. She's no ordinary bear and will set you back £179. In charge of getting Nicola ready for the discerning Christmas bear shopper is Steiff veteran Sunhilde Walzer, who runs the new product workshop where she'll be made.
Ich arbeite bei der Firma Steiff im Entwicklungszentrum schon sehr lange, schon 30 Jahre. Jeden Arbeitsschritt, den Sie heute hier sehen, so werden alle Steiff-Artikel hergestellt.
Surprisingly little has changed with the way they make their toys since the company was started 140 years ago in this corner house over the road from the factory.
Here we have Mickey Mouse.
Manuela Fustig is in charge of the archive here, where she gets to spend her days playing with over a century's worth of soft toys.
Look at his eyes. Look at his ear. He has an interesting mechanic inside. When you turn his tail, he can move his head. A girl or a boy had a wonderful friend for life. I grew up with Steiff animals. I was born here in Giengen, and also my parents worked here. And in school, I loved history. And so it's a wonderful, interesting job, and I love to come here every day and play with my animals.
The Steiff Company was founded in Giengen in 1880. Margaret Steiff was just 18 months old when she contracted polio, leaving her unable to walk. But as a young girl, she discovered a love and skill for sewing and set up a successful business making felt clothing. But Margaret was to change the future of children's toys when she switched from making clothing to soft animals.
One day she saw the pattern of an elephant in a kind of newspaper, and she said, oh, I work with felt. And I make a little pin cushion for my sister-in-law Anna Steiff and gave her as a present. And children of the family saw this elephant and said, wonderful, lovely, Margarete, make us also one.
So Margaret made the elephants from the soft felt, making them cuddlier, and the children all wanted one of their own. This became the first ever commercially produced soft toy. But history was made again in 1902, thanks to Margaret's nephew Richard, who had the idea of making a bear. It was an instant hit, the following year being presented to his namesake, American President Teddy Roosevelt. And so the teddy bear was born. But what goes into creating these world-famous bears today? In the factory in southern Germany, a team of elves are hard at work helping Santa produce all the Steiff teddy bears that he'll need this Christmas, including Nicola. There will be only 1,225 Nicola bears. See what they did there? 12 and 25 for December the 25th. Like all the bears, Nicola is handmade. They start with the patterns from the design department. It's made of 17 shapes that will form the finished bear skin, and each has very specific instructions from the designers.
Hier sehen wir die Strichrichtung, also die Florrichtung, dass die Haare nach unten gehen am Bein und nicht nach oben.
The individual pieces are then hand-sewn together, and the material has to be fixed very specifically to avoid a wonky bear with a bad haircut.
Wir haben hier einen Kopf, also die ganzen Teile werden 4 mm zusammen genäht. Sie muss sehr genau achten, dass sie die Ohren in der richtigen Position hat.
And as well as ensuring straight ears, this is where they sew on the glittery hands and feet covered with the magical sparkling crystals. But Nicola isn't even the most glitzy bear Steiff have ever made. For their 125th anniversary, they created a special one-off bear with a gold mouth and nose, fur with gold threads, and yes, eyes made with diamonds and sapphires. All yours for a whopping €29,000. But the most expensive bear ever was this limited edition Louis Vuitton bear that went at auction for $2 million. Back in the factory, individual pieces are then turned inside out on a contraption that looks like it's escaped from a dentist surgery.
Diese Vorrichtung ist von der Abteilung, von der Entwicklungsabteilung von Steiff früher, also vor fast 100 Jahren entwickelt worden.
The pieces go on and are turned around in seconds, ready for the next stage. It's time to get stuffed. The synthetic stuffing is fired into the bear using compressed air until it's firm but just cuddly enough. Then the individual pieces are ready for the part that made Steiff so successful, the arm, leg and head joints. Cardboard discs go into the body and the limb or head are then joined by a metal pin.
Richard Steiff was a very inventor of so many ideas and mechanisms, and he had the idea to make a 5 times jointed animal. And you can move the legs and the arms and the head, and so the children had more possibilities to play with it. So I show you here a teddy bear. It's called Dicky from 1930. And you see he had also the 5 times jointing, so he can move his arms, he can move his legs, and also his head. This bear is from 1905. He's at the moment the oldest here. Our oldest bear and the oldest bear of the world at the moment is presented in the museum.
This bear is worth well over $100,000. But if you're looking for one of the original teddy bear models in your attic, known as 55PB, you're probably out of luck, because the first jointing system had a fateful flaw.
3,000 animals are not longer existing because you had seen the jointing is not so fixed like today with a metal frame. In the past it was only like a cotton string.
The string attachments will have broken and the bears went to pieces. So for his second batch, Richard switched to a metal connector.
And so we fix it with a metal, and so you can move it endless.
But Manuela's still got her eye out for the original 55PB model, just in case.
I just can go retiring when I found one.
Back in the factory, the joints are glued into the arms, legs and neck joints. But if that 2-inch nail in a soft toy is alarming you, don't worry.
Der Nagel bleibt natürlich nicht so lang, der wird abgequetscht und breit gedrückt. Das sieht natürlich jetzt ein bisschen gefährlich aus, aber das bleibt nicht so.
Now she's been health and safety approved, Nicola is then sewn shut, with eyes and nose stitched on by hand. And then it's time for makeup. A spot of silver airbrushing to lift her eyes, and then onto wardrobe. Handmade, individually dressed and finished, Nicola's looking perfect. But she can't leave the factory before having one finishing touch.
Nur mit dem Knopf im Ohr ist der Artikel von Steiff. Das ist das Markenzeichen und das ist der wichtigste letzte Part, der letzte Step von der Produktion.
In fact, it's such a well-known feature that it's become the company's slogan.
In 1904, the button in ear was an idea of another nephew of Margarete Franz, because he wanted to mark our animals, because a lot of other companies make copies. And he said, no, we had to fix something on the bear that everybody see. And since then till today, every animal had a button in ear.
The gold-plated button marks Nicola as a limited edition bear. And like a stuffed toy hallmark, it makes her more valuable to future collectors.
Und jetzt ist sie bereit für den Weihnachtsbaum. Darf er gerne verschenkt werden.
Now, as all the toys have gone to fill shop shelves or Santa's sleigh, the toy factories can begin to breathe a sigh of relief that Christmas is almost here. In Pennsylvania, the Christmas crayons have shipped, and Joe knows what he would want from Santa.
Right off the end of the machine is a freshly made box of 64 crayons. I love Christmas. I mean, who doesn't love Christmas?
In Germany, they're getting out some vintage decorations at the Bear Factory.
Little gingerbread man.
In Rockefeller Plaza, the Christmas tree has been unveiled and holiday season is in full swing.
We are ready for Christmas. Our soldiers are ready, our mechanics are ready.
Have fun, ladies, and thank you again for coming. Merry Christmas. 364 days is literally prepping for this one day.
From January to November, people are just going through the motions and they're waiting for the holiday season. I mean, at least I know I am.
And Oxford Street is lit up with Christmas lights, and last-minute shoppers are out in force.
We're very much ready for Christmas. The atmosphere is incredible. There's laughing, there's giggling, there's running around, there's jumping into the big toys, and that's just the adults.
But whatever toys you've been wishing or shopping for, make sure you have a very happy Christmas.